What if your greatest enemy saved your life, but the price was losing yourself forever? Peter Parker thought he knew how his war with Venom would end. He was wrong. Because sometimes, when death comes knocking, enemies become something else entirely. But this story doesn't start with the bonding. It starts with a secret Eddie Brock was hiding from everyone, including Venom itself.
Tuesday morning seemed ordinary. Peter Parker was eating breakfast while Aunt May hummed in the kitchen. But across the city, Eddie Brock was staring at a medical report that would change everything. Terminal, the doctor had said 3 weeks ago. The symbiote is consuming your cellular structure faster than we can treat it. Eddie crumpled the paper. Venom didn't know. The symbiote thought it was making Eddie stronger, but it was actually killing him from the inside. The Daily Bugle alert shattered Peter's morning. Venom attacks first, national, hostage situation developing. But this wasn't a normal robbery. Eddie Brock was making one final play, and only he knew why. Spider-Man swung toward downtown, expecting another battle. What he found was chaos, but not the kind Venom usually created. Police cars were overturned, but no officers were seriously hurt. Windows were shattered, but civilians were safely evacuated. It was destruction with precision. Inside the bank, Peter found Eddie collapsed against a wall, breathing heavily. The Venom symbiote was flickering across his skin like a dying television signal. "Parker." Eddie's voice was barely a whisper. "You need to listen. I don't have much time. The symbiote doesn't know it's killing me," Eddie continued. "But when I die, it'll die too, unless..." The building groaned ominously. Eddie had weakened too much to maintain Venom's structural control. "Unless what, Eddie?" Eddie looked up with desperate eyes. "Unless it finds a compatible host, someone strong enough to handle the full bond." The ceiling began to crack. Concrete chunks the size of cars started falling. Peter's spider sense screamed as tons of debris plummeted toward them both. Eddie used his last strength to command the symbiote, "Save him. Save yourself. Choose Peter Parker." But here's what nobody expected. Venom hesitated. In that split second of symbiote confusion, Peter understood Eddie's true plan. This wasn't just about survival. Eddie Brock, the man who had hated Spider-Man more than anyone, was trying to give his greatest enemy the ultimate gift, redemption for them both. The symbiote shot toward Peter just as the ceiling collapsed. When the dust settled, Eddie Brock was gone. But Peter Parker was very much alive, and no longer alone in his own mind. The bonding felt different this time. Instead of the usual struggle for control, there was conversation. Venom's voice in his mind. "He's gone," Peter's response. "I know. Venom, he saved us both." "Peter, I know that too." For the first time in their relationship, Venom wasn't a parasite or a weapon. It was a partner, carrying the weight of Eddie's final wish. 3 weeks after Eddie Brock's death, Peter Parker stood at his grave. "You knew this would happen," Peter said quietly. "You planned it all." Venom's response came not as words, but as shared emotion. Grief, gratitude, and something that felt remarkably like hope. But here's the question that will haunt Peter Parker forever. If Eddie Brock could change in his final moments, what does that mean for every other villain Spider-Man faces? And more importantly, what does it mean for the new creature that Peter Parker and Venom have become together? Because this isn't the end of the story. It's the beginning of something the Marvel Universe has never seen before. Sometimes the greatest heroes are born from the sacrifice of former enemies, and sometimes the most powerful bonds are forged in the moment when hatred finally transforms into understanding. But what happened when this new Spider-Venom encountered his first real villain? That's a story that will change how you think about justice forever. Hit subscribe if you want to see how Peter Parker's life changed forever. And comment your theories about what Eddie Brock's real plan was from the beginning.